Hotep, I am the Amen Osiris, the one and only undisputed God of law. We are Deception Stoppers, America's only child support education service, the 4D Destroyers. I am not a lawyer. This is not a law firm. I don't advocate you don't support your human offspring. Simply advocate you made them in private, then you take care of them in private. And I get a lot of emails about asking me about arrears. Excuse me. All right, and so I'm going to go over this today with you. So because there's a lot of people who the case might be gone, but the arrears still remain. And Seamus Gardner, this is also a shout out for you, brother. Okay. There are certain things that must transpire before you, all right, have to pay child support, and we're going to go over that today. All right, you're going to be here a few minutes with me. All right, worst case scenario, take your time, come back. All right, but this is another equation, all right, out of the 4D crime families playbook, okay, and it cannot be denied. So we're going to talk about arrears, and we're going to prove to you today that you don't owe the arrears unless someone can come up with some serious information. All right, so first definition, and this is out of the glossary of common child support terms. Arrears, past due unpaid child support owed by the non-custodial what? Pay rent. Okay. Now, in order to say that you, as a man, owe these arrears, okay, they have to meet the requirements of 42 U.S.C. subsection 603 5 CI 3. Okay. And it says, this is the requirement. If they can meet these requirements and prove this information, then you'll have to pay the arrears. If they cannot produce this information, then you're not obligated to pay the arrears. And look at it, you'll notice I've got some highlighted bold words here. We're going to go over those. But this one right here is my favorite. And gentlemen, stop saying you owe child support. All right. If you're saying that, then you're admitting guilt. All right, remember that. All right, just keep it like, well, there's what it is, there's a lien on the Social Security number. That's all it is. All right, you don't owe anything, and we're going to prove that here today. All right, so under this statute, the non-custodial pay rent is in compliance with the terms of an oral or written personal responsibility contract. And you know what? I left the word out of here. 1 second. Got to go to the biblios, the Osirian biblios, which is the definitions. And let's see. We need the word. There it is. All right. I'll take that and put it over here. Put it here. All right. Now, and again, gentlemen, I'm telling you, if you want to be successful in tearing child support to shreds, all you got to do is study these words. I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. Once you speak their language, it's a wrap. All right. So the non-custodial pay rent is in compliance with the terms of an oral written personal responsibility contract. You know what a contract is. All right, let's look at the terms. In civil law, a space of time granted to a debtor for discharging his obligation. Well, hold on. When did you become the debtor? Huh? How are you a debtor? You know how you're a debtor is because the debtor must succeed to the status of the non-custodial pay rent. The non-custodial pay rent is the debtor. All right. The non-custodial pay rent is the Social Security Administration. They are literally the non-custodial pay rent. That's their property that this lien is up against. All right. So you're not a debtor. All right. So let's keep it moving. A non-custodial pay rent who becomes enrolled in the project. So you must enroll in the project. All right. So if you enroll in the project, shouldn't there be an enrollment application? You want to get a copy of that. All right. You definitely want to get a copy of that. Let me see a signed application that says I enrolled in the project. Now, you must succeed to the status of non-custodial pay rent. What is succeed? De-evolution of title, all right, to that of property under the law of distribution. So when you succeed to the status of non-custodial pay rent, and I did a video on this, gentlemen, they succeeded you, all right, you become the guarantor because when this debtor does not pay, it's a borrower. Okay, they borrowed against it. All right, let's continue. A commitment by the non-custodial pay rent to cooperate in the payment. All right. All right, this may include modification. Okay, and what is a commitment? The state or quality of being dedicated to a cause of activity. Well, hold on. When did I become dedicated or agree to become dedicated to this cause or activity? I never made such a commitment. Did you? All right. A commitment. Let's see. And you notice it says in the project. Think about that. In the project. All right. In the project. What is the project? It's Title 4D. How did you get in it? You must have an oral or a personal responsibility contract. You must also make commitments. All right, but here's another one. A commitment by the non-custodial pay rent to participate in employment-related activities that will enable the non-custodial pay rent to make regular support payments. And let's see, I hate that. Child support, there's no such thing. All right, now, so they want you, right? Remember, I told you they need your commercial energy, and this is the commitment that they need from you. But when did they get that commitment? All right, because guess what? You don't if the non-custodial pay rent ain't working, guess what? They can't collect. A description of services to be provided under this paragraph, and a commitment by the non-custodial pay rent to participate in such services that are designed to assist the non-custodial pay rent obtain and retain employment and increase earnings. You increase earnings, they increase they suck more money out of you. Okay? This is the commitment that needs to be made. Without this commitment, all right, you don't owe any money. And also prove, when did I succeed to the non-custodial pay rent? Show me some type of document that I agreed to provide the commercial energy and be surety and pay the debt for the non-custodial pay rent. Let me know when that happened. Let me see something. All right. Now I taught you this in the last video, but we're gonna get a little bit more deeper. Okay. Oops, and this is just let's get rid of that. Now, if you do not know this by now, all right, you'll never ever know it. I'm biting a little song there. All right, this gentleman is the fundamental of Title 4D. All right, and we're going to break down how you have succeeded to the status of non-custodial pay rent. All right, again, gentlemen, you're not responsible for the 4D, the pay. All right, the non-custodial pay rent is. What you're doing and how they did it was so slick. They leaned it against the Social Security number, knowing damn well that you got to have that, use that number for everything that you do in this country, for most of the part, especially to get a job, especially to get a bank account, get a driver's license. We'll go over that in a minute, okay? But that's how they do it, okay? Now let's go down here. I didn't mean to hit that down. Section, I'm going to be quoting some things here. Number one, I'm quoting the Federal Manual Child Support Section 8, and I'm also going to be quoting Black's Law. All right, Section 8, page 15. The Social Security number is the key piece of information around which the 4D information system is constructed. All computer searches need the SSN in order to operate effectively. All right, and there is, let me see something. Hold on. I was supposed to have something over here. No, and I didn't put it there. 1 second. Where did I do it? I think it's here. And no, let's see. There's a section in Title 4, the commentary from the state of New Jersey, and it clearly states that without this lack of the Social Security number thwarts the child support agency's ability to take your shit, all right, or to take an obligor stuff. All right, so that's why the Social Security number is so important. Okay, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. So if the social security number is the key piece of information, all right, let's look at the word key. An indefinite description of what? Property made certain. Whose property? The Social Security Administration property. It ain't yours. All right. What property are they talking about? Look, it's the key. So right here, the Social Security Administration is the property, the key piece of property. All right, is the property. All right, that's what key means. It's property. It ain't your property. You're the holder. Now, this is how they get a hold of it without your knowledge half the time. Well, you should be knowledgeable. Federal law, federal CSE law, gentlemen, there is no such thing as federal child support enforcement law, required states to implement procedures requiring that the social security number of any applicant for what? Driver's license, occupational, recreational, or marriage license. All right, there it is. Be recorded on the application, but not on the face of the license itself. In addition, the 1996 law required that the SSN of any individual subject to what? A divorce decree. Okay? So that divorce decree, gentlemen, that divorce decree, believe it or not, is a debt. It is a bond that is floated on the market. And there's loans taken out on it, and that's why they're hitting you with all that child support bullshit. All right, support order or look, paternity determination or acknowledgement be placed on the records. All right, so this is how they get the social security number. Once they get the social security number, they run it through what's called the federal parent locator. Okay, those are the computers that they're talking about. All right, if they can't run that social, then they cannot find the assets of whatever you have, because all your assets are connected to that social. Okay, your house, your apartment, whatever, driver's license, your car, license plate, registration. All right, whatever, anything dealing with the state or the Fed, that number is required. Remember, the state is a corporation. It's an artificial person. They can only deal with other artificial persons. What they need you to do is to provide the commercial energy for them, okay, and provide the surety for the bonds. All right, so let's keep it moving. So this is how, sometimes, baby mama don't know the social, but all she give them your name, all right, and they'll run it, and they'll pull up some driver's license. Is this him? Yeah, that's him. All right, we got him. They just go pull that application. You already gave them the information. All right, you did that to yourself, but you didn't know it. Let's keep it moving. All right, under 42 USC 666A13. All right, mark of the beast 666. The litigant is required to supply his or her social security number for the purpose of establishing and enforcing child support. Why? Because the computer system, without it, will not function. It cannot find you, or it cannot find the assets that are under that number. Okay? There's a lien on that number. They have to find it. All right? They floated bonds on that docket, and now they've sold those corporate bonds, right? And made and borrowed off of them, and now they want you to pay it back. Okay. Now, as you know, the Social Security number is not a personal identifier because it lacks systematic assignment to every person and the means to authenticate a person's identity. Social Security numbers are not forms of identity, gentlemen. They do not identify you. They identify the key, which is the property of the Social Security Administration, which is the non-custodial pay rent. 42 USC 666A3C. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. All right. So, what is a lien? A lien, a claim or charge on property for payment of some debt, obligation, or duty. Okay. Who has the duty to pay child support? The obligor. All right. That duty means it rests upon a person in an official capacity. The person in the official capacity of the payment comes from the obligor. All right. So, if a lien is a claim or charge on property, well, check this out. The Social Security number is the property of the Social Security Administration. All right? That's why they need the Social Security number. Without it, they cannot float the bonds. Without it, they cannot place the liens. And without the liens, there is no debt. Okay? Let's keep moving. All right. So it says a claim on property. Whose property? Social Security Administration's property. It's a debt, right? Or an obligation. Let's see. Debt. A sum of money due by what? Express agreement. So no expressed agreement, no debt. Obligation. I have that down here. Oh, here it is. Look, law or duty binding a party to what? Perform their agreement. Perform what? Contract, agreement, contract. Look, undertaking to perform, undertaking, contract. Okay? There has to be a contract. In order for you to be in debt for child support, there has to be a contract. All right? Remember, you're going by the terms of a personal responsibility contract, is what they're implying. Because it's commercial, all right, there has to be a contract. Without a contract, all right, and the terms of that contract, you're not going to get it. Look, again, the terms of an oral or written personal responsibility contract. All right, a space and time granted to a debtor for discharging his obligation. Debtor, you know what? Let's look this up. Do I have it? I think I do. Let's see here. Debtor. Where's that? I may or may not have it on here. No. All right. I can go one better. I'll go one better. Let's Google that. Debtor. A person or institution who owes that sum of money. Okay. When did you become the debtor? How do I owe this sum of money? Prove it. Can't. Not without a contract. Okay. Now, so you now know, and it is proven beyond a shadow of doubt. I'm going to get down to the other side in a second. All right. There is a lien. Title 4D is a lien on the Social Security number. Okay. Try calling the child support agency and you'll get an automated system and try to see if you can get through without putting that last four of the Social Security number in. You will not get nobody on that phone. Okay. It's a lien on the Social Security number. Okay. And you, unbeknownst to you, have become you're the guarantor for it. Okay. That they duped you. It was so slick how they did that shit. However, guess what? Now that you know, well, I'm gonna need to see some of these contracts. Because if you don't have any contracts, I don't owe arrearage. I don't owe any future. I don't owe nothing. And more importantly, without a contract, guess what? I'm not the non-custodial pay rent. All right. The non-custodial pay rent is the person required to pay child support. Okay. A person is not such because he is human, but because rights and duties are ascribed to him. Person is the legal subject to which rights are aggregate. All right. Now, so we know what a debt is. Okay. It's a bond, and a bond is evidence of debt. All right. But there must be an expressed agreement. In order for you to to be bound to do something, especially pay a debt. So if a debt requires an express agreement is a written or verbal contract allowing parties to declare their intentions and contract terms in speech. Well, where's the contract? Show it to me. Where's your proof? I want to see a contract. I want to see the express agreement. I want to see the written personal responsibility contract. Okay. And I want you to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that I own that Social Security number. I don't own that number. All right. If a lien is a charge on someone's property, and that lien is that property is the Social Security Administration. That ain't my card. You are talking to the wrong person. All right, gentlemen. And if I was you, this is what I would start doing from now on. All right. If you want to be funny about it, if child support sends something to you in the mail, forward it to the Social Security number, put them a note. Especially if it comes in all cap letters, the dear SSA, I believe this is your mail. It got diverted to my home inadvertently, so I'm sending it to you. All right. You're not responsible to pay their lien. Okay. You are not responsible to pay that lien unless they can come up with, all right, the commitments, all right, and prove that you are in compliance with the oral or written personal responsibility contract. And gentlemen, let me show you what a personal responsibility contract is. I pulled one out of Texas. The personal responsibility contract is for women who are going in welfare. They have to agree to the terms of this contract in order to be eligible for the services. And if they are not in compliance, then their services get terminated. Okay? Look, you must cooperate with child support requirements. Establish paternity and help obtain child support for children in your case. All right? So when they go and get welfare, they're required. This a personal responsibility contract comes from welfare. Okay? They're treating that as if it's a TANF case. So you now know, gentlemen, okay? Start asking for some things. Okay? Start asking. When did I make a commitment? And again, if you're deciding to attend the 4D Crime Families Administrative Hearing, okay, of course, like I told you, go in on some slick shit. And what you want to do is ask some questions. Okay? And the questions that you're going to be asking is right here. Okay? You give them, like I said, if it's an arrears case, you give them the document. Sir, do you recognize this document? Yes. And that is this is a Title 4D hearing? Yes. And then the defendant is named on that document? Yes. Thank you. And the defendant is also referred to as a non-custodial parent. Don't, well, you can say parent there. They might look at you like you sideways, but knock yourself out. Yes, it is. Thank you. Well, sir, we seem to have a problem. Accordingly, you're mistaking me for this person. So, in order for you to number one, the government derived their just power from the consent of the governed. Number one, I do not consent, and without my consent, your power is not just. Now, furthermore, I'd like to see a copy of the enrollment application that I signed into the project. I'd like to see the declaration that I succeeded to the status of non-custodial parent, and I'd like to see the personal responsibility contract that I signed. I also would like to see the commitments that I've made according to federal law, okay? And I also would like to point out that the Social Security number being the key piece of information around which the system is constructed, I do not own a Social Security number. I am the number holder. I'm the beneficiary of that number. It is used to obtain benefits from certain U.S. agencies. Outside of that, it's not benefiting me, and I'm not subject to it. Okay. So I ask questions. Can I see a copy of that contract? All right. If they can't produce it, walk out. Okay. Don't get it twisted. If they cannot produce, then keep it moving. Sir, if you can't produce these. You can't produce these things. Number one, you have no just power. But two, I didn't consent anyway. I don't consent. But without these instruments, you have no authority. Without these instruments, I don't owe, you don't owe past child support, whatever, right? No one owes it unless you can come up with this stuff. Right? I need these. Give them to me. You present this evidence to me right here, right now. I will be more than happy to pay what I owe. And if you can't, all right, you're gonna notice how fine this tailor-made suit looks from behind, because I'm heading that way. Okay, nobody can force you to stay if they don't have it, and guess what? Shut them down. Okay, if they keep running on, we're not here for that. I'm here for that, because without it, we're here for nothing. All right. I don't want to see or hear anything. Excuse me. I don't want to see anything except what I just asked you for. And if you cannot produce that, you have no jurisdiction to proceed, and you failed and proved that I don't owe anything. All right. More importantly, being that lien, this is a lien against the Social Security Administration's property, you need to be talking to them. All right. So I want to give you another little breakdown. All right. Okay. And I want you to start becoming 4D destroyers. Start looking at these words, gentlemen. You cannot go wrong. Okay? Where did this debt come from? Well, you were ordered to pay. Well, hold on. I'm free. I'm by nature I'm free and independent. Free means I'm not subject to the legal constraint of another, having the power to follow the dictates of my own free will. I have not yielded my will to your proposition, nor will I. I'm also independent. I'm not dependent, not subject to control, restriction, or modification from any given outside source. Nobody orders me to do nothing. You might as well go over there and talk to that wall. I don't know you. Only one on this planet that can order me is my mama. All right? Real talk. Get your ass over here and fix this fence. You know how moms are when you get older, fellas. All right? But that's it. And those are orders you're always going to follow. We're bound to follow mom and dad's orders. I mean, literally, I don't care how old we get. Still a mom and dad. All right? But for the most part, there you have it. You're not property. All right? They own that card, which means they own the lien on that card, which means they have the obligation to perform their agreement because they're the ones who sold the bonds. Right? And you can prove it. Then on top of that, they're requiring, look, that's why it's required, because without it, the computer systems won't operate. Okay? Without the social, it's it. Lack of the social security number thwarts anything that they do. I mean, if it's in the system, gentlemen, it's in the system. Don't trip out about it. But it's not your debt. Unless, look, I want to see that express agreement. Where's the express agreement? I want to see that. Okay. Show me where I signed it. Give me a certified copy. I want to see that written contract. I want to see that. Because you're saying arrears is a debt and your obligation is a debt. Only way that can come about is through express agreement. And on top of that, don't forget, gentlemen, do not forget, where is it at? All right? The baby mama is not the obligee. All right? Because if that was the case, then they would be having you pay her directly. And you'll notice they will tell you if you pay her directly, that is not counted towards child support. That is a gift. Why? Because they're not getting their cut. Okay? Look, obligee, the person in favor of whom the obligation is contracted. All right, where's the contract? Show it to me. I want to see it. I want to see it. Where's the express agreement? Without it, nothing. All right, and you must be relentless, gentlemen. And I've heard people saying that they're getting emails from child support. If child support's emailing you, dump the email address and get a new one. If child support's calling you, dump the number and get a new number. You don't want to be involved with these people. Okay? They're nothing but liars and crooks. So you will terminate the arrears like a 4D destroyer if you use this information properly. All right? It's here. And nobody else is teaching it to you because they don't even know it exists. All right? This is, all right? 30 years of experience, gentlemen. I'm telling you, I got some shit in my dossier that ain't no joke. I'm just giving you what you need here. This is simple. Okay? You can copy and paste it, do whatever you want to do. Write it down. All right? But guess what? Use it. Send it in. All right? You can take this right here and destroy. Look, you can destroy it if you want. All right? But it's knowledge. All right? It's knowledge. Not by age, but by knowledge is wisdom acquired. It's just that simple. You want child support off your ass? All right, acquire the wisdom. Use the knowledge. Don't take my word for it, gentlemen. Feel free to look all this information up. All right, I want you to. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Start tearing down these words. All right. You want to get good? Tear down every word that's in these little sentences. Every little word. See, what we do here is not only do we tear down the words, but then we go back, right, and we tear down the other words that are in the definition. All right. Look, space of time, debtor discharging this obligation. I'm not the debtor. You're not the debtor. Right? The debtor is the Social Security Administration. Right? But do not relinquish. Do not hesitate. Do not take prisoners. Do not take shit. Okay? Do not. Okay? Sir, do you have can I see the express agreement? That's all you want to come out your mouth. I need to see the express agreement. I need to see the contract. Where's it at? Well, who's the obligee, Mr. Judge Impersonator? She is. Okay, where's the contract? I need to see a copy of the contract. Without a copy of the contract, I'm not the non-custodial pay rent, and I don't owe shit. Oh, you ain't got one? All right, bye. I'm the Yamin Osiris. If you need me, bang my email. All right. Do not email me your history of title for dealing with the 4D crime family. All right. Email me if you want to phone. Let me know if you want to do a phone consultation. All right. And your phone number, and we'll work it from there. All right. I do not have time to read. It's too many emails, gentlemen. I'm telling you. A third of my day now consists of of returning emails, trying to read them all. I just can't do it. All right, so don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? If you want to talk, you need help, we'll help you. All right, so send me, email me your phone number. We'll schedule you a phone consultation. All right, and we'll tear it down. All right, and I'll explain to you how to rid yourself of the 4D crime family that's bothering you. All right, it's very simple, gentlemen. Very, very simple. And without these instruments, they cannot proceed against you. You don't owe any arrears. And stop saying I owe arrears, please. That drives me crazy. Hotep.